Hello everyone, today I'm continuing my reading niche romance genre series in the hopes that I find one I actually like. But for today's episode of this series, we are not going to find one I like, I can guarantee you of that. That's because this week I'm going to be reading monster romances. Ever since I found out that this was a genre, I felt like I had to read it. Not because I thought I would like it, but because I think it's going to be hilarious. I think it's going to be really cringy as well. And I want to experience these books. I want to see why people read this. So I have chosen 5 monster romance books to read over the course of this video. And let's get to introducing the books. The first book is A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. Then we have Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. This one's my favorite, I think. Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. A Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. And last, but certainly not least, we have the one, the only, Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. All of these author names are so made up. You can't tell me that these are your real names. Regardless, I'm going to be saving this one for last because this is obviously the most popular. This one I've actually heard about before, which I cannot say the same for these. However, I've decided that the first one I'm picking up is going to be A Soul to Keep, just because it's the longest and I figure it would be nice to get through it the first. And I have to say, I did start reading this. I'm on page 30. So I just want to give you a quick little synopsis and some of my initial thoughts. So essentially, this book takes place in a world where, demons roam the earth. And the size of the demon is proportionate to how, not scary, how dangerous it is, because the bigger the demon is, the more humans that's eaten. So humanity kind of exists in, these big villages that are surrounded by walls and are warded off from demons. And this story follows her main character, Rhea, who, when she was 7 years old, her whole family was attacked by demons, and she was the only one that survived. But because she survived, everyone in the village thinks that she's a bad omen. They think that she's unlucky. And so they've basically kept her in this little hut away from the village for her entire life. They don't let her speak to them because they're afraid she's gonna curse them somehow. And in the beginning of this book, a dusk walker comes to town. I don't really know what it is. It's the thing on this cover with the skull face and stuff. And this is a monster that's even more fearsome than a demon, apparently. But this monster also has magic. So essentially what her village does is they give this monster Rhea in return for him warding the village for another 10 years. So that's where I'm at. She essentially just left the village with this Duskwalker. So not much has happened so far. But my god, is the writing bad. I don't think I've ever read a book with such bad writing. It doesn't flow. It's really awkward, and it's juvenile. It's so bad. But I don't even want to say juvenile, because I've read young adult books that are written so much better than this. It's just really bad writing. I think this is independently published. I don't think it has a publisher, so that might explain the bad writing. She didn't really have an editor, I'm guessing, to make it smoother. I also just really want to read the beginning little blurb for you. Whew. So this is before the book starts, and it starts on a really strong note. To all the monster fuckers out there, this book is for you. Don't pretend that you've never wanted to be railed by some human-eating, dark entity that has a skull for a face. You saw the cover, you knew what you were getting yourself into, and you still chose to open this book and read it. Yes, I did, and I'm questioning that decision already. I really am. So, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get to reading A Soul to Keep, and I'll update you when I have some more thoughts. Hello, I'm on page 222 of A Soul to Keep, and holy shit is this book so hard to read. It is just so bad. I can't stress that enough. Do not read this book. It is so poorly written. First of all, the very first chapter is just all hard exposition. It doesn't even try to mention the main characters or anything. It's there are demons that walk this world, and the demons eat people, and they get bigger when they eat people, and so people live in these villages, and it's just you could have just woven that into the story naturally instead of giving us this prologue that just explains the world. Like, I feel like that's really clumsy writing. And just the whole thing is bad, if I'm being honest. Like, this thing, I don't even know what he is. He's a monster. They call him a Duskwalker. His name is Orpheus, apparently. I don't know who named him, but apparently that's his name. And apparently all he wants is a companion. He's just, like, lonely. So when he takes Rhea from her village, they go into the Vale, which is where all the demons and the monsters live, I guess. And he has a house there. So he takes her to the house, and he gives her own bedroom. And he just, like, wants her to live there with him and be happy and safe. And it's just, like, this isn't very monstery, you know? Like, the whole thing is him, like, I guess, being sweet to her. I don't even like saying that word, because I think the whole thing is just fucking weird. I don't get the monster porn, okay? This book is really horny. And apparently he has to, like, give her baths every day to, like, keep the smell of fear off of her so that she doesn't smell like a human. And so the demons stay away. And so he has to give her these baths, but she can't bathe herself. He has to, like, physically wash her. And he has to physically wash every area of her, if you get what I'm saying. And it's just like, oh my god, it's so ridiculous. And they haven't, like, had sex yet, but he's, like, made her come multiple times. I just can't believe I'm reading this. Like, what am I doing with my life? I'm making YouTube videos, that's what I'm doing. But is it worth it? That remains to be seen. Saphira, you're blocking the camera, honey. Anyway, please shoot me with a gun. Like, I can't do it anymore. Also, in news that's not related to monster fucking at all, I may look like I've been crying. It's because I've been crying all day long. I found out that I passed the bar for my state. I just have to pass character and fitness, and then I'm gonna be a fucking lawyer. Like, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy, Saphira? She has no concept of what's going on. She's just been looking at me all day like I'm crazy. And I probably am. I mean, I am reading monster porn. So, is she really wrong? She's not. I gotta say, this is not how I want to be celebrating. Like, this book is big, too. I'm only a small way through it. I'm on, like, 200 pages. How many pages is this? Oh my god, it's over 500 pages. It's gotten to the point where, like, sometimes when I get really sick of it, I just start skimming a little bit. Like, not significantly, but maybe a couple pages here and there. I just, like, this is torture. What else happened? She tried to escape, even though she's attracted to him, and she wants to have sex with him. And then, because she tried to escape, all these demons are, like, surrounding the house, because they know that she's there now. He won't have sex with her yet. Well, he won't do, like, penetration yet, because he only wanted that with his bride. But to be his bride, she has to give him her soul, or something like that. I don't know. I don't like it. That's pretty much it for this update. I'm trying, like, not to spoil this, but at the same time, it's like, are you gonna read this? I really hope you don't. I really hope you don't spend your time reading this. So we'll see how much detail I give. And that's it for now. So, that's my news, and that's the monster porn I'm reading. Hello, I have finished A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, and I do not know how I'm going to continue this vlog. This was the worst book I've ever read. Like, I think this is worse than Haunting Adeline, which is saying a lot. It's just incredibly, incredibly boring. Like, to be honest, I skimmed the last, like, 100 pages or so just because I could not do that to myself. I could not make myself read every word. It was, like, torturous how slow it was. Like, I have no idea why this book is over 500 fucking pages long, but there's no excuse for it, honestly. I don't understand why people like this, because even if you're someone who just wants to read smut, and, like, monster smut, apparently, it's just, even that is overweighed by how nothing is happening in the entire book. Like, there's only maybe 5 smutty scenes total, and this is a over 500 page book, so it's like 1 for every 100 pages. Is that worth it? Probably not. I just, like, it was painful. It was so painful, and it's at the point where, like, I'm looking at the other books I'm supposed to read for this video, and I'm like, maybe I won't read all of them. Maybe I'll skip at least one. because I don't know that I can do it. I really don't. And on top of that, as I said before, their writing was just like ridiculously bad. There was just nothing redeemable about this book, and it's just weird because it's monster smut. Why am I reading monster smut? Someone tell me, because I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. So that's this book. I'm moving on to what is my favorite cover and title of this video, and that is Morning Glory Milking Farm. Look at this cover. Look at that. Holy shit. Okay. I don't know what this is about. I believe it's a romance with a minotaur. It's short, so hopefully... The thing is that, like, okay, I talk about how I'm a romance hater, and I am. I really am. But there is some romance that I've liked. Like, I used to read a lot of romantasy when I was a teenager, and I still like some, like, Emily Henry and stuff. I just don't gravitate towards the genre, and I don't like a lot of it, to be honest. But it is possible for me to like a romance book, and I believe it is possible for me to like a monster romance book somehow. Probably. Maybe. And so just the fact that that book was so bad is like really turning me off on all these other books, but this could be a great book. This could be a fun, romantic little book. I mean, we'll see about that, but I should go into this being hopeful, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I have some hope? I don't know. It put me into reading stuff, like I'm dreading continuing this video. But I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read Morning Glory Milking Farm, which I just have to say that title as much as possible. Morning Glory Milking Farm. Anyway, I'm going to get reading, and I'll update you once I've an idea of the synopsis. Pray for me. I am 180 pages into the book with the most ridiculous title in the world. And that title is Morning Glory Milking Farm. I'm so embarrassed to be reading a book with this title. I can't even describe that to you, especially because I'm doing it publicly on the internet. Anyway, I'm 180 pages in. Figured it was time to tell you what this book is about. I don't even know how to tell you what this book is about without getting absolutely shadow banned by YouTube. So I hope you appreciate my honesty, because I'm not sure that many other people would go this in depth with you. Essentially, this book takes place in a world where there aren't just humans, there's also, like, many other different species. There's minotaurs, there's vampires, there's... what else? I can't think of anything else, because those are the main ones that are covered. There's werewolves, there's, like, all those mythological creatures exist in this world. And our main character is, like, a down-on-her-luck millennial. She has all these student loans, she can't find a job in her field, she can't find a job that's gonna pay for her to live in general. And then she finds a job at this farm. It's like a pharmaceutical company. And she applies because it pays a lot, and she goes there and she starts watching the training videos. And this is a pharmaceutical company that extracts something from minotaurs to be used in Viagra. And in order to extract this thing from minotaurs, they essentially have to, like, her job is basically just to give hand jobs to minotaurs until they come, and then collect their cum in a jar, and then that's what they use for the Viagra. Why am I reading this? Okay, the worst part about this is that this book's more enjoyable than the last. This is, like, the craziest synopsis of a book I've ever fucking read. But it's definitely better than the last book I read for this vlog. I have very mixed feelings because I hate every single time she talks about giving handjobs to the minotaurs. Oh, and the other thing is that there's one minotaur that has, like, a huge dick. It's real girthy. And she's obsessed with him. Like, all she can think about is, like, having sex with him, and whenever he's there, he, like, keeps requesting her to, like, give him the handjob for the work. And she just wants this minotaur so bad. And that's the plot of the book. So, that's all for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little segment. And I'll update you when I'm finished with the book, which should be soon. Thank the Lord. Okay, I've done it. I've officially finished Morning Glory Milking Farm. And I kind of hate that something that came out of my mouth, but it did. So let's just ignore that. The thing about this book is that it's not that bad. Like, I've read worse romances. Like, A Soul to Keep, 1,000,000 times worse than this. Haunting Adeline, worse than this. Assistant to the Villain, worse than this. So I don't like to shit on it that much, because again, it's not like the worst book ever, but I could not get over the initial premise, no matter how much I tried. she would just be at work giving hand jobs to minotaurs, and I'd be like, okay. Okay, I'm spending my precious time reading this. I only have one life, and I have read this book in that life. Why? And even more to the point, this is my only day off this week. I'm working 6 days in a row after this, and I chose to spend my day off reading this book. The things I do don't make any sense. Anyway, I ended up giving this book 1 star because even though like there's been worse romances I've read, it still doesn't mean that I liked it. There's also this really weird like speciesism in here where like there's this world where all these different species exist, like elves and humans and fairies and ogres and minotaurs, but like the author had to create like racism against other species. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. There's like residential segregation in this book where like where the main character lives in the one city, it's like all humans, and when her minotaur boyfriend comes over they get weird looks, but then the minotaur lives in like the species haven where like people from all different species live in peace. And it's like, okay, so I guess it's just the humans that are against other species, but why did you have to include that? And then there's also a part in the book towards the end where like she has to tell her mom that she's dating a minotaur. And she's like worried about her mom taking it weirdly, and it's, I don't get why you had to do that. If you're writing a book in which you think it's going to be normal that a minotaur and a human have sex, you need to just accept that as fact and not come up with a weird racism in your book for no reason at all. It's not like it was even like a big part of the plot. It's not like this book was about overcoming discrimination or something like that and used like minotaurs as a metaphor. No. It was just like off to the side and be like, oh yeah, and also people are racist against minotaurs, and like, what? What? I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I would personally not recommend this. The one thing that really got me is in the back, when it's like the author's note, she says, let me read it to you. She's always preferred beasts to boys. Are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to say that publicly? I mean, I guess she's already writing this book publicly. I wonder if she uses her real name, because this is the only name that seems like it could be real. Like, Opal Rain from Soul to Keep definitely isn't the author's real name, but CM Nacosta, that could be her real name. I don't know, man. I don't know what these people are doing with their lives, but I bought this book with my own money, so she's doing more than I am. That's all I can say. I can't really criticize her. Anyway, the next book I'm going to be reading for this video is the shortest one because I feel like I need to just get this video over with because it is so painful to read these books. This book is The Dragon's Bride by Katee Robert. This has a really nice cover, actually. If I'm ignoring the whole fact that she's going to be fucking a dragon, it still has that, like, classic romance-style cover, which I do enjoy. A Deal with a Demon novel, it says. So, okay. Okay, I'm going to be reading this. I'm going to spend my day off reading this book. I'll let you know when I have a synopsis. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I really don't. I was like, oh, this is going to be so funny, but I don't even think this video is funny. I think this video is just me having meltdown because I'm spending my time doing this. And it's like really making me question my life choices that I'm publicly on the internet talking about giving hand jobs to minotaurs. So, that's my life right now. I had to come to terms with that. I'm going to get to reading and I'll update you when I know what this book is about. I have a feeling it's going to be about a woman getting married to a dragon, but who knows? Not me. Okay guys, so I've actually finished the next book in this video, and that's because it's so short, but the book I picked up was The Dragon's Bride by Katee Robert. This book essentially follows our main character, Briar Rose, who at the beginning of the novel, off screen though, was in an abusive relationship, so she ends up making a deal with the devil. Essentially, he's going to kill her husband, and in return, she's going to return to this demon's realm and become a bride for some unknown character. And I have no idea, like, how she finds the demon, how they decide to make this deal. None of that is really described. You're just kind of shoved into the situation. And so after she goes to the realm, after her husband is killed, she's dressed up in this white dress, and there's some other women there, all in different colored dresses, and they go through the hallway into this room, and there's just all these, like, creatures there. And one by one, each creature chooses a wife. So our main character, Briar, gets chosen by a dragon. You can see him there on the cover. That's what he looks like. His name is something. Soul, that's his name. And he wants a human wife because essentially there's like some way that like breeding with humans introduces power into the dragons and it makes them just a more powerful society to have a more powerful leader. So he wanted to marry her so that they could have children that could then take over for him after he dies, is essentially the gist of it. But she is only required to be his bride for 7 years under the demon deal, and as part of that deal, she does not have to birth a child. It's just being his wife, and she doesn't have to do anything that she doesn't consent to. So she's totally against the idea of having a kid because she doesn't want to have a kid in this realm and then leave it after 7 years, and she's convinced that she's going to want to leave and go back to the human realm. But what she doesn't count on is falling in love with a dragon. I just can't. After reading, like, this book, out of all the books I've read so far, is the least offensive. You know, she's not milking an animal. She's not in the most boring book in the universe, which was A Soul to Keep. So I get it. But I just can't, for the life of me, get over the monster porn aspect of these books. I can't get over it. Like, Soul ended up being a very nice dragon, you know, and he just really cared about Briar. But I just could not get over that whenever they had a scene where they were kissing, they couldn't really kiss in a normal way because his jaw is that of a dragon. And then when they would have sex, he had 2 dicks. Which would, like, I can't do it. I can't talk about it. I shouldn't have made this vlog. It's the only thing I'm learning from reading these books. Like, I want to say that this book was fine, which I normally would give a book 2 stars then, but given the nature of the book, I can't give it 2 stars. I have to give it 1 star, because every single time I thought about it being, like, a monster that she's in love with, I just couldn't deal with it. Which maybe is my own internal biases. Something about me is just against bestiality, I guess. But this book was just not for me, as I'm finding out with every single one of these books. But there was also nothing, like, patently offensive or, like, really weird about it. Like, it was a normal-paced, regular book, so it wasn't as boring as A Soul to Keep. And it didn't have the completely fucking weird premise of Morning Glory Milking Farm. This just felt like a regular romance, just with a dragon with 2 dicks. And I'm not really into regular romance either, so there just wasn't anything here for me. So that's it for this one. I feel like this video is so boring. Let me find the next one, though. So the next book I'm going to be picking up for this vlog, I'm worried about. And that is Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. Take a look at this cover. These covers are just great. Like, that's the one thing the romance monster genre has going for it. This one I'm worried about because I don't understand how you would have sex with a kraken. It looks here like it's a man just with tentacles. So I'm assuming this is going to be some tentacle porn. The back says, "Welcome to the love bathhouse where desire and acceptance are in the water. Celibacy is a bad look for a matchmaker." Don't like that. We're gonna have to figure out how this goes. And I'm scared, is the thing. But I will sacrifice myself and read this for you guys. So I hope you appreciate that. I'm gonna get to reading and I'll update you once I have something to say. I'm on page 106 of Stalked by the Kraken, so I'm about halfway through, as you can see. So it's time to give you a synopsis. Essentially, this book is following 2 main characters, one whose name I can't remember, and the other whose name I can't... Rose and Gideon. Why are they all named Rose? The dragon girl is named Briar Rose, too. Why? Anyway, they all have red hair, too. It's so annoying. This book follows Rose and Gideon. Gideon is a kraken, and Rose is a witch, and she walks into the coffee shop that he's in one day, and he's instantly like, "She's mine," which is gross. I don't like that at all. And then for a while, he's genuinely stalking her. Like, he doesn't go inside of her work or inside of her home, but there's like a whole week where he's just watching her. And it's so fucking creepy. Like, I thought we established in Twilight that Edward watching Bella while she sleeps is kind of fucking creepy. Why are we doing it here with an actual grown man? I don't like it. So Rose owns this bathhouse and it's been in her family for generations. And essentially the gist of it is that she offers like matchmaking services, and the bathhouse offers a place for people to have consensual sex, whether it be an orgy or a private room. Both are available. And the bathhouse profits from this sex because it creates like magic when magical people do. I don't know. I don't really understand it, to be honest. I will say it's at least like a little bit interesting because it's the romance isn't the only thing. Like the bathhouse and the matchmaking stuff is actually kind of interesting. Like Rose can see like these threads of color around people, and that's part of how she matchmakes people. I don't even know if matchmakes is a word, I just said it. But recently she thought she had found like a 100% perfect match, and it turned out not to be a good match at all. So she's lost faith in her matchmaking abilities, and at the same time, the bathhouse isn't generating enough, like, magic, and there's something wrong with it, so they're trying to figure that stuff out at the same time. So I think at least that is somewhat interesting. I mean, it's better than some of these other books where absolutely nothing was fucking happening other than the romance. At least there's, like, a little bit of intrigue here. Still not good. There's still tentacle porn in this book. And I wish I could read it out loud. I think just me saying the P word is testing the boundaries of what YouTube allows. I want to so bad read you aloud that scene where it happens. 'Cause she, the whole time, is like, I want you to fill me up. And he has the form of a human most of the time, but he has, like, a creature inside of him or something, and he can, like, partially shift, so that's what he did when they were doing it, and man, is it a thing to read. I've been talking a lot about these monster romances with my friends. Like, honestly, I've been talking about monster porn incessantly to all of my friends recently, and my one friend floated the idea that I should make an OnlyFans where I read monster porn, and I'm honestly considering it. I really am, because I think it's so funny. These books are terrible, and I would probably have a copyright issue there. But I'm tempted. Let me know in the comments if you would subscribe. I'm talking completely clothed, nothing inappropriate except the book that I'm reading. Let me be clear there. What am I even saying on the internet right now? Okay. I'm gonna get back to reading. I can't say I'm enjoying it. I can't say I've enjoyed a single one of these books, but I'm doing it. And after this, I only have one more. So I'm getting through these books, and that's all that matters. Thank the Lord. I will be back when I finish this. I have finished Stalked by the Kraken, and you're going to be absolutely, positively shocked by this. But I give it 1 star. There's just nothing inside of me that can give Monster Smut more than 1 star. I am so sorry, but I'm also not sorry at all. There are a lot of things I didn't like about this book. I didn't like the fact that Gideon just saw Rose and was instantly like, mine, that's mine, and then started stalking her. I think that's fucking creepy. Even though at the end Rose said that she liked it. Honey, like go see a therapist. Don't, no. I didn't like how possessive he was. I didn't like how creepy he was. I didn't like Rose. I didn't like anything about this book. There was also weird stuff towards the end where, like, there's, like, a breeding kink, which is just not my thing. And there's also, like, a public group sex scene. Also not my thing. If you can tell, these books in general are just not my thing. I just think the tentacle stuff, I'm sorry, it weirds me out. I understand some people might like that. I don't get it. It weirds me out. I don't want to think about tentacles like that. There's even, like, scenes in this book where they're doing it, and she's, like, talking how she should have watched, like, Animal Planet more. What is this book? Why did I spend my time reading this? I just don't get it. I really don't understand why people want to read these books. And I feel like I could just keep repeating that over and over again, but I'm honestly just, like, gobsmacked by it. Gobsmacked? Is that a word? I think it's a word. Anyway, the next book I'm going to be picking up is Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This is the monster smut book that I've heard the most about. I know this has to do with aliens, and that's all I know. But I've seen, like, many people read this, and I've seen some of them enjoy it. So I guess out of all the books here, just based off of that premise, there's, like, a chance I could like this one. Do I think that's, like, a good chance? No. Am I eager to get this reading vlog over with? Yes. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this as fast as I can. And then I can get on to books I actually want to read, which would be like just so refreshing and great. So I'll catch up with you once I have a synopsis. Okay guys, I have some news for you. So unfortunately, number one, I am sick, so I sound like shit. Number two is my beautiful angel, love of my life cat, Saphira, decided to puke all over Ice Planet Barbarians. Like, it was not salvageable, and I'm not gonna spend more money on that book. I can't justify that to myself. So, I will not be reading that book or another. I'm just going to stick with the 4 that I have already read, which I have right here. Right here. And I really want to talk about some of the common themes I'm finding in these books, because there are a lot of common themes. I think the most obvious one is that these are all monster romances. We can start there. That's the genre. I will say the interesting part of this vlog was that they were all different monsters, so we got to learn a lot about different monsters' penises. And that's where I would like to start with the similarities. Each monster had a dick, but every dick was different. And that way, they're similar, because they're all just really weird descriptions. So, I mean, the easiest one, the one that's the least, like, descriptive, is just the Minotaur. He just has an absolutely ginormous dick. Not the weirdest dick that I've read about. I forget which one it was. I think it was a Soul to Keep. My memory is hazy because I'm trying to block these out as soon as I read them. Twisted dick that retracts inside of himself. Okay. Stalked with the Kraken. The guy obviously had a big dick. I guess this is less of a dick thing, and it's... No, it's not. Because this is tentacle dick. Because while he is having sex, he can go back to his most primal self. And he's got a ton of tentacles, but only one is the dick tentacle. And he just really loved filling her up. Anyway, what else? I think the most interesting dick scenario was in The Dragon's Bride, because in this book, the dragon had 2 dicks. And I was telling that to my friend not too long ago, and he was like, what do you mean 2 dicks? What do you do with 2 dicks? How does that work? These are all valid questions. So I will tell you, the way that it works is that... Why am I saying this on the internet? I'm already into it. The way that this works is that the woman sits on, like dick, the woman sits on this one. She sits on the behind dick, right? And then the dick in front stimulates her. Is YouTube gonna shadow block me for this video? Why am I, like, ready to fight? Because these were the dicks. That's why my hands are out. Okay, so that was a dick situation that Briar Rose was facing. She loved it. Another similarity is that in many of these books, there's like a breeding fetish. For instance, in Stalked by the Kraken, it's always a necklace, actually. In this book, the female protagonist has like a birth control necklace, and she purposely takes it off. And what was the other book? Same thing happened in the 2 dick situation in The Dragon's Bride. I will say The Dragon's Bride, I didn't like any of these books. Let me make that clear. Dragon's Bride was probably the one that weirded me out the most. And I think it's because he is just in amphibian form. Like, I guess the Minotaur is in his animal form, and whatever demon, it's not a demon, it's like another mythical creature. Whatever that creature is in here is just himself. But, for instance, in Stalked by the Kraken, he has a human form most of the time. But this dude is just like a fish, you know? So, a lizard. He can't swim, I don't think. I don't know if he can swim. But, no, he can swim. That's a whole part of the book. Okay. I'm losing my mind. What was I saying? And I just keeps going back into dicks. Oh, what I was saying, He's an amphibian. He is not a mammal. It's like he doesn't have like a human-shaped mouth, which I guess all the other ones did. But this book was just really weird because we're getting to like the first sex scene and she can't like really kiss him because he's got like that snout, so it just like it doesn't work, and that weirds me out. And another thing that weirds me out about him and his jaw is that whenever he would eat her out, like his teeth are sharp and they're there, but like because of how he had to angle it, his jaw would like leave teeth indents all over her like abdomens. And it's just like, I can tell that you've really thought about what having a dragon sex or whatever is like. I can tell that you've thought a lot about that, and that makes me uncomfortable. I guess they all were really thinking about monsters porn the whole time they were writing Monster Smut. Like, how do you think of that? How are you like, I don't understand, and I'm never going to. And I feel a little weird about these books. I was just about to say, like, there's nothing wrong with reading monster porn. But at the same time, like, bestiality is bad. And I don't know if there's much overlap there, but it feels like there'd be at least some. And I just read a lot about monster dick. I don't remember what I was talking about. Okay, anyway. Another similarity is that very much like Sarah J. Maas, they're all very, very into this, like, primal urge in people. Like, I remember in, like, the Court of Thorns and Roses series or whatever, the guys have these, like, primate sensibilities. And it's very similar in these books. Like, you can tell The Dragon's Bride was really stuck in my head. But there's a whole thing in this book where he's like the dragon, I mean, with the dragon dick, two dick situation, if you forgot. He has, like, this thing where he explains to Briar Rose that she can't run from him or else it will, like, ignite this primal urge in him and he'll just have to have sex with her. And in the Kraken book, as I already said, he has the figure of a human on a regular basis, but during sex he can kind of shift into his Kraken form, and they purposely have sex when he's in his Kraken form. And again, it's that primitive primal urges inside of them. So I guess girls who let's put this all into a life lesson. I guess the girls and boys, I'm sure boys read this stuff too, there's gotta be at least one boy out there reading monster porn. There has to be representation. I forget what I was saying. Lessons about those who read the genre. They like a weird dick situation. That's undeniable. They have a fill me up breeding kink. Can't deny that. And they're really into primal urges. Are any of those things by themselves bad? No. No. I don't there could be arguments made. I think the weirdest book, if I had to create an award and give that here, was Morning Glory Milking Farm. Because first of all, just saying that title is embarrassing. Like, I feel like I blush every time. But there are several weird things about this book. The first is the job, where she's at the pharmaceutical company just jerking off minotaurs and collecting their semen so they can make Viagra out of it. And then there was the racism amongst animals, which is just a weird addition. Like, there's residential segregation, where the animals lived in certain areas and humans lived in certain other areas. And there wasn't much intermixing. I guess there wasn't. I'm not going to talk anymore, I don't think. Also, 2 of these books were also self-published. That's another thing. Would I read any of these books again? Oh no, it fell. No. Will I be getting rid of these books as soon as I can? Yes. I do not ever want to read monster porn again. The thing is that if you guys want to see me read Monster Born again, I could read maybe one more Monster Born book and just do a full spoiler, full filled vlog. So if you really want to put me through this again, we can see if there's a weird dick. Does that interest you? Anyway, thank you for watching. I hated doing this, so I hope you know that I love you, because I wouldn't do it otherwise. I wanted to stop so badly. I hated it. I love that this is the ending of this. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know whether you want me to read more Monster Porn below, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Oh, also, please like and subscribe. I was looking at my analytics, and like 80% of the people who watch me are not subscribed, which is a little mean. So consider not being mean and consider subscribing. And also please like, because it really does help out my videos. And that's the end of me begging for attention. I will see you soon with another video. Goodbye.